So, all right, starting. Or shit.
This is the Player 4 Podcast. Join us each week as we talk about video games, entertainment, and pop culture, and bring in guests from the Rooster Teeth community. Player 4 has entered the game.
What's going on?
Go.
Hello and welcome to the Player 4 Podcast. I am Tristan, aka Shy Wazir on the Rooster Teeth website.
I'm Alex, aka Chaos Black 21.
I'm Malachi, aka Suki Kiba.
And I'm Joseph from the same show.
Like we have a show. Hi guys, how's it been? We haven't had Alex on in a while.
What? That's a lie.
You were out for like 2 in a row. I think.
I plead the fifth.
I see, I was right. I am remembering right.
Well, then
Yeah.
Alex should say what we're doing today.
Yeah, Alex.
Today, I'm gonna take a wild guess because we never put it in the chat anymore,
Because he puts
and
it
I
in
don't
this.
watch the. So we are going to talk about Avengers Endgame, mostly my take on it, since everybody else did it with the spoiler cast last week.
Should have seen it. It was great.
And then we're going to talk about how John Wick 3 is doing pretty well in theaters, even though none of us have seen it, but I do want to see it. And Blues stuff, because I'm a big St. Louis Blues fan, and they just did something amazing last night. And finally, Joseph stuff.
Joseph stuff.
Did I get that right? Did I
Yes.
get all
I think
four?
you did. I think you nailed it.
And in order.
Bam!
Well, then start
John Wick 1.5.
If somebody was listening when we were talking, that's good.
us off, Alex.
Avengers Endgame. I give it 2 thumbsticks, even though it's a movie.
Oh.
2 thumbsticks way up. And I loved it. I will say that I did tear up at the end. Can I talk about it?
Oh,
Even though this
yeah.
is a
Real
spoiler
quick.
cast?
No.
we did spoiler cast last week. This is Alex's
So,
spoilers. Spoil it.
real quick, guys. If you still haven't watched it, Alex is going to do spoiler stuff, so step away.
Does that means when I do the description, I'm gonna have to tell them from what time to what time.
No,
They
just
can do it.
skip the next 2 minutes.
Go. You got 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Go.
2 minutes. Yes, I teared up when everybody returned and started just beating the crap out of Thanos' army, and then of course when Tony died. Overall, I think what the heck is that? You're messing up my 2 minutes. Avengers Endgame again. Yes. I don't know. I'm not a good critique of movies, but I thought it was
must
really
have been
good.
something. All right, so tell me what your favorite scene was.
Oh, it's been so long since I've seen it. I
What was the moment that made you go, yes?
mean, when everybody returned.
Okay. That would be the moment where all the portals opened?
Yes.
Okay. And what was your least favorite scene? One where that made you say, why'd they do it that way?
Least favorite scene. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't really have a least favorite scene. I don't know. I guess maybe the fact that Captain Marvel just all of a sudden appears in space, next to she somehow found Tony and Nebula.
Magic.
Yeah, so it's just okay, so there was nothing showing that she got it unless somehow some message got out, the SOS, if they had an SOS or something.
I
I mean, they might have done. We talked about it a little last week and determined that it didn't make as little sense as it seemed to. If you thought about it, you could postulate that she went back to Earth because there's the end scene where the beeper's going off, and Captain America and Hulk are there looking at it, wondering who it's calling because they don't know who she is, and she shows up and asks where Nick Fury is.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's possible that they then filled her in on the whole situation and said, oh, by the way, our buddies went off to Titan to fight him, and we haven't heard from them in like a week. So if you could head over to Titan and see what's going on, it's definitely plausible to me that she just sort of found him between here and Titan, especially considering that she's got Kree technology that would allow her to scan for ships like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was my take on it anyway.
Maybe.
But I will say that there was,
Did they actually? I don't think Tony and Cap ever actually got together before they went off into space. So how did? No, 2 minutes are up. That's why you can't give me time, Joseph.
You just need better time management skills, man.
You can keep talking, just no spoilers at this point.
Oh, no more spoilers.
Well, then I can't talk anymore.
That's what kind of movie this is, I guess. Hey, if you're listening, you're hoping we stop with the spoilers, give them another 2 minutes. Fast forward.
No, we can't do that. I'm not going to continue it. We're just going to move on.
Oh.
We'll give you 2 minutes a week.
2 minutes a week?
As I try to remember more and more as the further it gets from me seeing it.
Yeah.
It'll turn into reliving vicariously.
Yeah. It's Alex's 2 minutes of fame. 2 minutes Endgame. I couldn't get it to fit in the same.
Living Endgame vicariously.
There you go.
All right. John Wick 1.5, as Joseph puts it.
Yeah, because I don't... what's John Wick? Other than it has Keanu Reeves and apparently a dog.
And lots of bullets to the head.
Oh.
Do you want the quick how it started thing?
Yeah, I want the quick, what is a John Wick?
So basically, John Wick is a man of a particular set of skills, and
That's Liam Neeson,
but not taken.
Yeah, so basically,
the
wrong person tried to or did rob him and killed his dog in the process, and then he's like, "Well, guess I have to fuck some people up," and that's the undetailed version of what happens. I didn't want to go too much, unless you want me to go detailed.
So somebody robs him, a dog dies, and he goes and gets revenge for his dog.
The dog was the last gift, or came to him in a very emotional time for him after his wife died. So the dog was kind of like his little bit of hope in the world.
Uh-huh.
So he was emotionally aggravated by the robbery. And then that leads to his past and all that stuff, and it leads on from there.
And then he just starts shooting people?
He kills a lot of people.
Well, they come after him, and he just kills them.
Well, he wants to...
okay, so he's also going after other people.
Well, no, he's going after a particular couple people. He's only going after people that did him in. But other people are trying to stop him from doing so.
Is he dead?
Who?
What?
John Wick.
No,
John Wick's not dead. He is a living, breathing human person.
But he's like the Terminator with flesh. You can't stop him.
He's Liam Neeson.
Yeah, that too. He's got.
He does all these awesome grappling moves while shooting people in the head or the knee and then the head. Usually ends up with someone with the person ends up getting shot in the head at some point.
There's a lot of interest in the story by the people that are doing or in it. Who is the director of it?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I didn't know if Keanu Reeves was actually a big part of the film itself, other than being the main character. But I know he has a lot of interest and stuff invested into the film, so you can see that, and the acting and stuff is pretty interesting. I enjoyed it, but I'm not sure how they're gonna do John Wick 3, but I haven't seen 2, so I'm not sure. I've only seen 1.
I've seen both. John Wick 1 is better than 2, but I've heard that 3 is maybe not quite uh, better than 1, but it is better than 2.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Well, that's one of those things is like with the Taken series. The first one was great because it was the beginning of the like scenario and it was delicious, but you kind of sometimes got to be careful about not dragging it on,
I
later.
mean, that's usually how I describe movies.
In the beginning, and then they try to stretch it out too much.
And I guess it just turns bitter.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Bitter like coffee.
Yep, there you go. That's movies in a nutshell, right?
Mm-hmm.
It gets you wired, but it doesn't taste good anymore. That's how you describe sequelitis from now on.
Bitter coffee.
Sure. It gets you wired, but it doesn't taste good anymore.
John Wick 3 and Detective Pikachu are the two movies currently that people
I still
are
need to go
going to
see
see.
Detective Pikachu. I really want to go see it.
I haven't seen it either, but I think I'd rather see John Wick 3 over Detective Pikachu.
I don't know, man. Detective Pikachu sounds really good to me.
I'm sure it is. I think it's a good nostalgia factor.
I think that darn it, names. Help me.
Ryan Reynolds.
Thank you. I think he's very funny, and I want to go see it because he makes me laugh.
Ryan Reynolds is good. I like Ryan Reynolds as well.
You should. It was. I enjoyed the movie quite a bit. I did not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Malachi saw it.
Oh,
yeah.
Malachi saw it? What?
And you get Pokemon cards for going. It's like the whole reason you should go.
Joseph, you haven't seen it yet?
No. See, it's a whole to-do, as I've said, when I want to go see a movie. And I recently saw Endgame, so I'm sort of waiting a little bit before I call in favors again.
Oh, well, I didn't know if you'd bring your kids to see it because they're into Pokemon.
That is a possibility. There's also the fact that it's too expensive to see movies here, so I've got to find somewhere that's a little bit cheaper and make a little bit of a drive.
Yeah, I feel you. Because
you guys want to say hi to Gina? She's sneaking into the room trying to do something.
Hi, Gina. There's because you're paying for 4 people, right?
Yes, 4.
Yeah.
And there's no discount for kids at all?
There is. It's still just a very expensive theater.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Tristan, if you go to Detective Pikachu, you can get the Detective Pikachu Pokemon card, and one of his attacks.
What card?
One of his cards is called or his attacks is called Coffee Break. And then his other.
It's funny that I was talking about coffee.
Yeah, and his other attack is Corkscrew Punch. And then
that's pretty cool.
The other one I got was Snubble. I got a freaking Snubble.
A freaking Snubble.
Freaking
Snubble.
There are GX cards that you can get, so you can get really fancy ones. Like Charizard's a really fancy one in there. Mewtwo and Greninja? No, I don't remember what the third one was.
So I just want to know one thing before we move on to something else. And that is, does Ryan Reynolds Pikachu ever use a lightning attack in them?
Wait, why are you asking me that? I thought you watched it.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh!
Nobody has seen it other than you.
Well, I can't say anything other than you got to feel it in your jellies,
That's where the lightning comes from.
So.
comes from your jollies.
Jellies.
Fine, that too.
I think it's time for blue stuff.
All right, tell us about the Blues, Alex, because you always want to talk about the Blues, but I never let you.
St. Louis Blues, for the first time in 49 years, have reached the Stanley Cup.
Yay! Now we get to watch in high definition television as they lose to the Celtics.
It's not the Celtics, it's the Bruins. And I'm a little disappointed, Tristan, just because I know you don't follow sports, but
What?
it is Boston,
Yeah.
pretty much essentially where you live,
Yes. This is
and
true.
you don't know what sport your teams play.
What's your point? I can never look. The Bruins symbol looks like a basketball, and so does the Celtics.
Yes. Well, the Celtics doesn't look like a basketball. The Celtics is a friggin' Celtic/leprechaun guy, but
Okay, so
carries
that's
a
even more
basketball.
problematic because it doesn't look like a basketball, and they're the basketball team, and the other one's the hockey team, and it looks like a basketball.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, so they're playing, and the funny thing is that the last time the Blues were in the Stanley Cup 49 years ago, they played the Boston Bruins. So it's like a rematch of the Stanley Cup Finals of 1970.
Whoa.
And I wanted to go to Game 3, but tickets are too expensive.
Damn.
So I can't. It's actually, apparently tickets are cheaper up in Boston than they are in St. Louis, which kind of makes sense, kind of doesn't, because Boston's a bigger market, but St. Louis hasn't had a Stanley Cup in 49 years, haven't had a Stanley Cup Finals, so people are jacking the price up since they know they can get more for it.
Those jerks.
That's the way capitalism works.
What are they doing to the price?
Just raising it.
Thank you,
what are they doing to the
Joseph.
price?
They're jacking up the price. That is a phrase. That is a phrase that is used.
This is his contribution to the conversation.
I'm an adult, Tristan.
Say that phrase again.
The second word is right. I'm not changing the second word for you, Joseph.
I'll do it. The second word is off.
No, it's up.
No, it's definitely off.
Oh my gosh.
I was
Yeah,
there.
so that's my little St. Louis Blues, because I'd never thought that they'd reach the Stanley Cup Finals in my lifetime.
Yeah, if Alex is ever going to miss a D&D game, it's always because of the Blues.
Or work.
It's generally the Blues.
Or Game of Thrones. But I don't have to worry about Game of Thrones anymore, because that's done. But I haven't seen the finale. I'm seeing that tomorrow.
I mean, I'm told that the finale's okay.
I mean, it's as okay as you can that you can with
Right.
with the writing that has been this season.
Right, exactly.
Well,
it seems like they were kind of given the finale by the author, so that kind of went okay, but their way to get there, the writers of the season so far were kind of ham-fisted about it.
oh, okay.
Well,
So you
I don't know,
say
George R. Martin, I think, has come out and said that the books, if he ever, God forbid, if he ever finishes them, aren't going to end the way that the TV did.
Well, that would be an interesting thing.
well, you also could think of it as he was kind of gave him an ending he thought might work, but wasn't sure if he liked it, just to see the response.
Maybe. He definitely could do it that way if he wanted to.
Be like, people didn't like that ending. You're gonna have to do something different.
Yeah.
Before we move on, has anyone actually seen the finale other than me?
I am on season 4.
I haven't seen anything this season because my way of watching Game of Thrones has been to wait for it to come out on DVD and then watch somebody else's DVD by borrowing it from them.
Nice.
But I have watched
will say
everything
that-
I've watched everything up to this season. I just have my entire experience of this season has been vicarious through attempting to avoid shit on Twitter and not being entirely successful.
Well, I'll say, Tristan, that the impression you've got is pretty much correct. It's the in my opinion, they ended the show about as well as they're able to at this point.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Joseph, and I watch the finale tomorrow, so maybe the two of us can do a Game of Thrones spoiler cast then.
Ooh.
Wait, does that mean
I
gotta take a
definitely
break?
have opinions on the on the last season of Game of Thrones. I'll tell you that.
All right, we got to start somewhere, so I'm excited to hear it. Make you into a critic in no time.
Yeah. So Joseph stuff now.
Joseph stuff.
Yeah, I don't know
As-
why we called it that and why it's last, but okay. I
Right.
was just gonna tell you guys some stuff that I've been up to. I
'Cause-
went on a trip. What?
I was just gonna say, so we have to put it that way, Joseph, because we never know what's gonna happen with you. Because it could be
Wait,
poop,
did he
it could
call
be
it butt
anything.
stuff, Joseph? Did he call it butt
I
stuff?
shouldn't put poop stuff because it's always poop stuff. It's just the way it is.
No.
Poop story, bro.
I guess in fairness, Malachi's meanderings is always at the end as well.
No, Malachi's meanderings are always at the beginning.
No, that's not always true.
All right, Joseph. Sorry, I put my 2 cents in there. Go.
I guess
Right.
Alex is looking out.
So I went on a short trip this weekend south of Austin. Why is he doing music? And I'm playing for two of my mom's singing students that are actually
Okay.
kids that I coached last year through the choir program. Am I a robot? What's going on? Why do you keep talking?
No.
I said okay.
I mean, I think he was responding to you. It was just it came on a little strong.
Well, okay. I tried to say okay because I thought there, and I was gonna say okay because I wanted to let you know I was listening, but then it just kept going.
I want
can
you to
just
know
skip
that I'm
this
listening,
segment.
but not well enough to know when you're going to stop talking.
I figure if it's my segment, I'm not going to stop.
Okay.
Just go. Go for it.
Okay. Two kids that are middle school, high school, I think high school now, one of whom I've known since she was like 4, were in the choir program I played for up until this year because the choir program died. It's a local school district. And these were two of the kids that I played for last year that I was vocal coaching because the choir director couldn't be everywhere all at once. So when the choir program died, and my friend who was the choir director, she used to go to where I teach before I was a teacher here, moved up north to start working on her master's degree because she was being mistreated by the superintendent. Not physically, obviously, just like he was a douchebag who thought he knew about music. Fast forward to this year, now they're taking lessons with my mother, and she's the one who taught me piano from age 4 and is teaching my son. So I went south of Austin for a little weekend trip to play for both of them at a sort of all-state competition. For it's not solo and ensemble. I don't think they call it that because that's if you're going with your high school. And since this is through a private studio, it's a different location entirely. The other location is north of Austin, and we're talking like a hour plus differential between the two, just so you don't think Austin is this tiny little thing, which none of you think that have gone to RTX. So when I went back into Austin, that afternoon, I messaged a friend of mine. He recommended a place to get seafood. I was thinking, who do I know in Austin? And I messaged my buddy Joshua, who I raided with in World of Warcraft, and
Joshua Nellis?
no, Joshua Meehan. He
Right.
is the IT guy for the animation department over at Rooster Teeth. And we went and have Gina and I went and had seafood, and she filled up like a crab cake, and because there's so much food, and then we packed it up and went to a comic store. So that's where this story is leading to. Is I am going to begin a little comic book collection. So I was at the comic store, Dragon's Lair in Austin, and perusing their graphic novels because it's their little compilations of the comic books. So you don't get little comic books for a few dollars and have a whole stack of them. I just wanted to get a compilation, an anthology. So I thought, this looks interesting. So I'm currently reading through a series of this one author who wrote Avengers starting in 2010. It's Avengers Prime 1 through 6, and then Avengers 1 through 12, and then 2 follow-ups about them passing the torch. So it's just this story in one of the Marvel universes where Asgard apparently was on Earth and got destroyed by Harry Osborn, I think. And then there's this whole storyline concerning the Nine Realms going into chaos as a result of it. And Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man are trying to fix it. So I'm kind of excited about reading through this. Michael's reading through it as well, although I'm limiting him to 1 issue a day out of the anthology. And I said, you can go back and read what you've already seen. You just can't go forward more than 1 issue a day. So I wanted to space it out and really digest what's going on instead of just, I'm done. And it led me to want to start working on a little collection and just sort of picking based off of what I've got when I want to add to it, and then just read through and actually learn some stuff about the Marvel Universe beyond what I currently know, which is limited to discussions I've had with people, films, and a few comics that I've got. So that's what's been going on with me. Poop stuff.
Poop stuff.
Poop
Very
stuff.
Fun.
nice.
I'm glad to hear you're starting a comic collection. Those are awesome.
It's about time, right? Now that the Endgame has finished and we're done with this phase of Marvel, it might be
Yeah.
a good idea to actually become a comic book fan. I have some, don't get me wrong, just not a lot.
It's kind of funny. I only got to dabble in comics only a little bit, but then I heavily got into manga.
The
I have
interesting thing
one
is I actually
comic.
read manga before I read comics because I had a friend who was letting me borrow some of his.
The mangas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Death Note and Cromartie High School.
Nice.
Okay, I've definitely heard of Cromartie. Never read it.
That's rare. No one I know knows of Cromartie.
That's weird.
I
It
know
was
it.
popular when I was in high school.
It's pretty funny. I still have the first. Gino was borrowing the first book from him, and then forgot to return it, and then he died. So
Oh, that is
yeah, so
unfortunate.
we've still got the first book of Cromartie. I could bring it to Austin so you could read it.
Sure. I'd be curious to know what it is.
It's really funny.
Because it's
It's funnier
just a
apparently in
word for
Japanese
me.
because of their use of proper nouns.
Ah.
It is pretty ridiculous. That's
That's
it.
all I got.
Well, it
Well,
was good. Thank you.
I don't
Sure.
think I have anything else to add, really. So, are we?
You're not gonna meander for us, Malachi?
We can get the flip out of here? No.
I don't know. You should. What are we at for time wise, Malachi? Less the 7 or 8 minutes of beginning
36.
stuff.
36 live.
Yeah. Okay. Then we can.
So about 30.
So Malachi, you have just a little over a month to get your RTX ticket and plane all set up.
Yeah.
You can take my spot in the condo.
I have $500 to my name right now, like legitly.
That's perfect.
So that's all you need.
What?
To buy a ticket for RTX.
Yeah.
Then you still have to make money to get
for
to
food
get the plane ticket.
and pay for the
Well, you need
lodging.
food. I mean, you don't need
I don't
that
need
much for food.
We're only gonna be there.
Do you understand how fat I am?
I do. Sorry. That was
So,
rude.
speaking of RTX, I guess we should say our goodbyes and then we can BS about RTX for a little bit.
All right. Hashtag goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Even though everyone knows the episode's not over because we're gonna BS for a little bit.
Yep. Here it comes.
Oh,
Get ready for the BS.
So Malachi, you could take my spot in the condo.
Yeah, but it still doesn't
it
solve my money issues unless you paid for it and you're gonna let me keep your money.
No, that's part of the reason why I'm not actually going to RTX this year.
His money issues.
Because of his money issues.
Yeah.
But it's not so much issues as much as I don't want to cause money issues.
Well, maybe it's not causing money issues. It's I don't have the money.
Because I'm going to be traveling this summer for some judging. Oh, exciting news. I tweeted this out, but I got accepted for a Keystone sponsorship for Star City Games Open in Ohio.
All right.
And what that means to anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, it's Magic the Gathering. Because I'm a judge, I got a full hotel sponsorship and increased pay for the event.
Nice.
I applied for 3 different opens. They accepted me for that one. As far as I can tell, that's what they do. They accept you for one event. And out of the judges from my region, USA South, I believe 5 or 6 of us got Keystone sponsorship, and for 4 of us, it was our first time. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Nice.
What?
Nice.
Oh, I thought someone had a question.
No, we just said noise.
We both said nice.
Sweet, yeah. So that's cool, but I'm also going to be doing a few other things, some other judging. That's the only one I'm traveling for that I know of, other than DFW. So there's a lot of profit there. It's just I need the seed money for the travel. They've got the hotel room covered, and they're paying me extra, which is above and beyond the extra you get paid for level 2. I think it's another, like, as if you worked another day. So hopefully I come out of the summer on top, which would be a first ever, as far as I know, that we come out of the summer on top. So all this comes down to, I was thinking about all the travel and stuff, and I hadn't gotten the sponsorship yet. So I messaged Tristan on Discord saying, "Hey, I'm going to be in Austin to see you guys, but I'm not going to RTX." And I
Oh, so you
posted to
messaged Tristan, but not me.
I was really busy. I think it may have been during finals week, but I don't remember.
I was,
But
if I was rude to you that day, I do want to apologize. I was in a very bad mood that day because
we were both doing our best.
I had just been told that day that my contract was going to be ending 2 weeks sooner than anticipated, which was meaning that I was going to be making $4,000 less than I thought I would be.
That's
Um,
poop.
Yeah, and then like just after getting that piece of wonderful knowledge, I got a call from the person who runs my Airbnb saying, "Oh, hey, by the way, I've rented the room you're in to somebody else during this period of time." And I'm like, "Well, we just had a phone conversation last week about how I intend to rent the room during that period of time." And he said, "Oh, sorry, guess you'll have to find a different place to stay then." So I was in a
That's
pretty
poop.
bad. Yeah, I was in a pretty bad mood that day.
No, it's fine. We were both doing our best because I was pretty upset about having to tell this, because I just had to admit to myself it wasn't happening this year. And part of the thing is, last year I wouldn't have even set foot in the convention center if it weren't for the fact that I had the press badge, and so I had a responsibility to go to the roundtables. But this year I didn't even plan on doing that. So I thought, what am I going to do?
Now that is a
I'm not
question.
going.
So you went on the press badge last year. Did you write the articles for Big Bite?
So Matthew, who roomed with us, that was doing those with me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him out because he said he was going to write all the articles, and here I am still wondering what those articles are.
Oh,
So
that co-pilot, right?
then yes. So then Joe was saying, "Yeah, we're gonna apply for press badges." I'm like, "Why? I wouldn't accept us. We haven't done anything."
that is a question there.
So then there's SideQuest, and whenever I say, like, I didn't see anyone that I knew at SideQuest, I don't mean our condo. I mean anyone. The only people I saw that I knew were SideQuest staff, Dominique, and Matthew Anderson. That was it. I'm talking like no one else that I knew. So I was really genuinely considering not doing that and finding what everyone else was doing on those nights and just doing that instead.
Yeah.
Then I thought, well, why am I traveling there and then paying for a condo if I'm not actually going to do anything other than, you know, partake and cook something for everyone like I did last year. So then I thought, well, the best parts of it, if I'm not doing anything, is the first and last day. So instead, Gina and I are going to drive down on Wednesday and play Jackbox and whatever, and then go home. And then I'll come back Monday when it's time for barbecue. So I'll be sad not to see everyone all the time, but I mean, you and Alex, Tristan, you're the guys that I really want to see, and I understand that it's Wednesday and Monday that are the days I'm going to see you anyway.
Yeah.
True, yes, because yes, we'll be busy with Guardian stuff for the most part, anyways.
Guardian stuff.
Um,
Officially, the tech team.
but yeah, no, I agree. Like it doesn't sound like the best idea to go down. If you're not going to go to RTX, you're not going to do side quests, and
Yeah.
like you would only be doing whatever all of us end up doing at night. So you just have the day like, okay, what am I going to do for the whole day until the nighttime?
Exactly. So maybe after I take a break, maybe next year I say, hey, maybe I want to be a convention goer again and see how that goes, because I haven't done that with a vengeance for several years at this point. There was the one year where we had the panel. The year following that, I sort of went to the convention. So I think I'd like to try next year, seeing if I feel like being a con goer. But this year, I'm just not feeling it. I've got too much going on. So that's what's going on.
So
also,
how are your days looking now that school's not in session?
Magic judging, getting ready for the school year. I'm working DreamHack Dallas next weekend, and then doing Columbus, Ohio, and doing 2 things in DFW. I've already been accepted for Magic Fest Dallas, which is the big thing done by the company that Wizards of the Coast gave the Grand Prix Monopoly to.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I'm just working on syllabi. And I got to tell you guys, I got a really good evaluation for my dean.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, there were some really nice things in there. I'm gonna pull it up while we're still live, if we're live.
We are.
I think
I haven't ended.
Are you
I'm
still
gonna-
doing the Pokemon Professor judging
I
stuff?
dropped that because my buddy Logan finally got his stuff squared away where he could do it, and I handed it off to him. Partially because the store wasn't compensating me, which is interesting because after I did that, they started compensating, which is great because I didn't want to do it anyway. I wanted him to. I was just
Mhm.
doing it because he didn't pass the little judge exam. So here are some excerpts from my observations from. Oh wait, this is from course evaluation. Oh, that's right. Okay, I have to go to my email. Course evaluation was good too. It's just he showed up to observe me teach in a class period that was unconventional material because we were near the end of the school year, and it was the final
I
course that I
missed that.
teach. So it was a lot of Q&A and analysis. Am I a robot? I don't know.
No. I mean, that's probably a good thing, though, because he probably did want to see how you were ending the semester, the way you relate to the students when, you're outside the coursework is just as important in some ways as how you relate to them during it, making sure that you're...
Exactly. I agree with you. This class period in particular was starting the final segment of Theory 4, which is analysis. Actually listening, like looking at music and figuring out what the heck is going on. So here we go. Here's some excerpts from my evaluation from my dean. Increasingly comfortable with his roles as both a teacher and professional colleague.
Nice.
His acumen and expertise were invaluable to the students, and this contributed significantly to the improved aspects of the assessment process, which is into the second year, you have to get the okay from the faculty to continue as a music major,
Yeah.
as opposed to just accidentally graduating someone. Let's see. Consistently endeavors to engage students in complex thinking and music that leads to enhanced understanding in all aspects of music learning and music performance. Decidedly more effective and flexible in dealing with the unexpected. That's probably because of D&D, and being able to adapt to the learning needs of the students in his classes.
There you
There's more here. Where is it? There's some really good stuff. Okay, here we go. Mr. Dunlap is creative and possesses a powerful intellect. He possesses a significant acumen regarding compositional processes and how the understanding of these processes influences and informs performance practice. What that means is if you know why someone wrote something, then you can perform it better.
Yep.
So there we go. That's some excerpts from it, and then the feedback section of the what's the word of the thing that he did. I feel like
Evaluation.
that's evaluation. I feel like the feedback section of it was from last year's. I feel like that's everything he said last year. So either he just forgot to change it, or is trying to make a point. I don't know.
You didn't improve the things that you were supposed to improve, Joseph.
And in fairness, I don't think I did either. But some of it is just stuff that are not attainable at the moment. There's like professional goals concerning whether I want a doctorate, and some other things like he wants me to do some YouTube videos for prior to the first semester.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. Jeez.
Well, he wants me to do some YouTube videos to teach my students some basics before they set foot in the class. And
Well,
I told him it's something I'm interested in doing, but I also don't have time to do it.
yeah, it's just the whole how heavily that stuff is used in classrooms now. Just because it wasn't as prominent back in our time, and that wasn't that long ago.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things that have changed. For example, Kahoot is a big deal.
What the hell is
It's a
Kahoot?
online. It's like Jackbox, but it's quizzes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so on the screen it's got the question with the choices, and then it's got this little cutesy music going, and then you on your phone you're choosing your answer, and then when everyone's chosen their answer, then it shows how many people got this answer, this one, and which one was right, and it scores you in a um, uh, Buffalo Wild Wings sort of way, which is how quickly you got the correct answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I use that. It goes Kahoot to quiz to exam, and I'm going to refine the process very soon.
Okay.
All right. I think we've rambled enough about things. My hips are popping because I just stood up.
All
Still
right,
lie.
It's
I'm
not because
ending.
you're
Because
dancing.
I'm old.